ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
All right. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Broke Jumper podcast. I'm Tyree.
I'm Dylan.
And let's get started, man. First one ever, so this is like a test run.
Yeah.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
Doing wonderful, man. Excited to get started on this. We're going to start off. We want to start off with NBA power rankings?
Yeah, we're going to hit it with the NBA power rankings. We're going to go top 15 teams going into this season. Season starts, what, in 2 weeks?
Yep. It starts next week, Tuesday, with the Bucks and
the Nets, right?
The Nets, and then the Warriors and the Lakers.
Oh, that's good opening night right there.
Great opening night. What are yours? I'll let you start.
All right. Well, let's go like 5 at a time, you think, and then like discuss each of the 5.
Yeah.
All right.
We can do that.
All right. So at 15, I got the New York Knicks. I like Kemba. I like Julius Randle. Julius Randle came out of nowhere last year. Started turning up. RJ, he's slept on because
great young player.
He slept on because Zion is so good, and they always just compare RJ to Zion. So it's like, oh, RJ didn't have that good of a game because he's not putting up Zion numbers yet. But I think he can do that.
And the offense isn't played through him like it is with Zion.
You're right.
Zion's touching the ball almost every other play.
You're right. Yeah. And then they got D Rose coming off the bench. That's great veteran presence right there. At 14, I got Portland. Great starting lineup. One of the best starting lineups. But then after that, what do they got? I mean, they got some good veteran.
The second lineup is terrible.
Yeah, they got good veteran presence. But, I mean, can Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, who is it, Yusuf Nurkic?
Yeah. Can Nurkic stay healthy? That's the number one thing.
That too.
He can never stay healthy, which is terrible.
That too. And then at 13, I got Boston. I don't know what this team can be without Brad Stevens as their coach. Because with Brad Stevens as their coach, I mean, any lineup that they put out there, Brad Stevens can work with. And, I mean, Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, they're both good, solid young players. But now they just lost their point guard in Kemba. You know, who's replacing him? Do you know?
I think it's Schrader.
Oh, it's Dennis. Okay, yeah,
Dennis
it's Dennis. Gotcha. Okay, that's a decent replacement, but
I think he's more of a point guard than Kemba was.
You're right.
Kemba was more of a scoring guard than a point guard. So it's not.
You're right. And then at 12, I got Atlanta. You know,
that's a good one.
They went to the Eastern Conference Finals. Can they improve on that that run? You know, can they continue it?
I think I'll save it till I give you mine. I have them pretty up there too. So.
All right. And then at 11, I got Golden State. I mean, Clay's back. Steph's going to be
back
healthy
until December. I think
that's a month. That's a month into the season. So, I mean, are the Warriors back with Clay back?
I think they're back with Clay back. If he's at, I'd say 80% of what he was.
Oh, you're right.
They're back.
All right. So those were, my first 5. What are your first? What's your first 5?
All right. I got 15, Memphis. I think they were right at that point last year where they could get over the hump, and they'll be, around that 6-5 range in the West. 14, I got the Mavericks. I think having Luka doing most of the load, it will just lift them into that upper stratosphere. 13, I have the Trailblazers. I think this can go up and down, fluctuate depending on how the season goes. They have a new coach, kind of going to have a new system. We'll see how it works. 12, I have the 76ers. I don't know where it's going to go.
Oh, yeah.
Ben is going to be back, but where will it go?
There's going to be that drama the entire season of is Ben Simmons getting traded this week?
Yeah, that's going to be the storyline the entire year. So I don't think they're going to do very well. 11, I got the Hornets, another team that was right there.
Okay.
Right there on the cusp. If LaMelo Ball never gets hurt, they are the number 6 seed in the playoffs.
Yeah.
He got hurt, missed 20 games. They dropped to the number 9 seed.
Yeah.
They don't get in the playoffs.
All right. So 2 teams that you had that I didn't have were Charlotte. I had them at 20. I have them a little back. They're just a young team. That's why. They're young. Yeah. They're coming up. Like you said, they would have been the 6-7 seed last year had LaMelo not got injured. But, this year I think they'll be in the same spot, like fighting for that 7-8 seed. And then the other team you had was Memphis. I had them right outside. I had them at 16. Ja is great. Jaren Jackson Jr., great stretch forward right there.
Yep. They're a great young team, and that's what I love about them. Like they're just set up to succeed down the line.
Yeah.
So I think they're going to be pretty good.
A lot of energy with that team. Mm-hmm. All right. Number 10 for me, I got Dallas. I think Luka will win the MVP this year.
I think he's definitely in the race, but there's always the thing of he has a hot stretch at the beginning, and then he goes dead in between.
Yeah.
So it's like in the middle of the season, he just like loses stamina, loses gas, and he gets tired. Let's see if he keeps it up throughout the entire season, and then he can.
You're right. No, you're totally right about that because he totally did start off hot. He was MVP, showing that he was MVP favorite, and then
all of a sudden he just
he
slows down. Yeah.
And then Dallas even dipped off. Like when he plays well, then Dallas. That's the only way they play well too. At 9, I got the Clippers. I'm wondering when Kawhi and Paul George can figure this thing out.
I don't think Kawhi will be back this season.
No, you don't.
Just because he had an ACL injury.
You're right.
And it's like, knowing Kawhi, he most likely will just sit out and just let them play it out and get, their selves together and confidence together without him.
Yeah, because he signed that contract, though, right?
Mm-hmm. He got a 4-year deal.
So it's basically a 3-year if he's going to be sitting out all year.
Yeah, getting paid to sit out. That's the Kawhi way.
Yeah. At number 8, I got Philly. Can they, stay consistent with all this drama from Ben Simmons? I don't think they can. I have them high at 8. I don't know why I have them at 8, but I don't think
8 is high to me just because I didn't know it was gonna happen. Like I wanted to put them at like right at 11, but I just like the Hornets, and I think they have a good squad over there. So that's why I put them at 12.
I mean, Embiid's good. I think he's overrated.
I think he's hurt too much. Like
that too. He's hurt too much.
The best ability is availability.
You're right.
If you're missing 30 games a year, you can never be that guy.
He hasn't played, more than 60, 65 games in a season yet?
In his entire career.
Yeah, and people were saying last year, he's an MVP guy. It's like, how can you be an MVP guy when you're not even playing 2/3 of the season?
Exactly.
All right, at number 7, I got Miami. Miami's solid. Addition of Lowry, Oladipo,
solid.
PJ Tucker. That's a good defensive.
Scary solid.
Scary solid. Nothing like over the top. Nobody like that's out there extravagant. Like that's always gonna put up 30 points a game. But it's like you got 3-4 guys that'll put up 22 to 25
any night.
Yeah,
that's what I like about them as well.
All right, at 6, I got Denver. Will the MVP continue his reign? That's the big question.
He can do that in his sleep.
You're right.
It's more about can he take over games when he's needed to take it over. But he can, control the game in his sleep. But when, your best scorer is out, can you take it over?
With
when
Murray being out,
Can you take the reign of the team on your own? Because when they went on that playoff run, it was Murray. It wasn't really...
Oh, yeah.
It was Jokic, too, but Murray did a lot of the load. He was scoring 53, 41s, and he's an amazing scorer.
Yep.
So, you just need one more person to lighten that load.
Yeah.
It could be Michael Porter Jr. I think he's a steal. Have him.
Oh, total steal. What they get? They got him in the 20s, didn't they? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a total steal.
Yeah. And that was your last one?
Yeah, that was my last one.
Got you. Okay. Got to burp quick. Sorry. Number 10, I have the Celtics. I think the Celtics is always solid. They can give you a great year and then they fall off the next year, but all of a sudden they'll come back great. I think it'll be a year that they come back doing really, really well. Jason Tatum looks like he's developing into more of a all-around player, playing defense, getting a little bit stronger. I think he'll have a career year this year.
I can see that.
Especially with being around like KD all summer, Dame all summer. He learned some stuff. So I think he's going to be great. Hawks at number 9. I think the addition of Cooper and what's his name? The dude from Duke. He's from Milwaukee as well.
Jalen Johnson.
Jalen Johnson will be the steal of the draft.
Really?
He will be the steal of the draft.
He's going to be like a Michael Porter?
I think he's going to be like one of the best small forwards in the future.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Having him and their power forward right now, I can't remember his name. John Collins, yes. Those two, along with Trey, it's just Lob City because they're both pretty much the exact same player. So it's like you're getting the same output from your starter and from your bench power forward.
Just set up one on each wing and then, do a pick and roll down the middle and have one trail on whatever side you go with the roll side on.
Mm-hmm. I think that combination, Cooper, Jalen Johnson, those new additions will definitely benefit the Hawks.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have depth last year.
You're right.
Like they were doing all that with Trey handling the load. And then they had a couple bench players playing. Yeah. Lou Will didn't play the greatest. So it's like having extra young guards and young players coming up that can be, have an output would be great for them.
Yeah.
So they're number 9. 8, Warriors. The Warriors are going to come back strong this year. I believe it. I think Jordan Poole will be the key.
Ooh, Jordan Poole, Milwaukee guy.
Yeah, another Milwaukee guy. He's playing terrific in the preseason, but it's preseason. But it's just, you saw some of what he could do last year, and I think he's going to come into his own this year. He might even take over the starting role.
Oh, wow.
I think he might take over the starting role this year. 7, I got the Bulls. They have a lot of firepower.
Really?
A lot of firepower. I don't think many people can match with them.
Wow.
Like with the firepower they have with DeRozan, Levine, and then Lonzo running the show, it's going to be tough.
Wow.
And they got Vucevic, who's a great defender, great post player, can shoot the three. It's going to be tough.
Wow. That's crazy that I don't even have them in my top 20.
It's going to be tough, dude.
Wow.
I'm telling you. And they got Patrick Williams, who's a great defender. He's like that Draymond type of guy.
Okay.
Who you can put him on anyone on the floor. He'll get you rebounds. He doesn't need to get you 20 points a night, but he'll get you 8 points, 12 rebounds, a couple assists. I'm telling you, it's going to be a great year for the Bulls. And then 6, I got the Suns. I love the Suns. They did very well last year, but I think it was, consequential. It wasn't like because they were the best team. I think it was because of things that happened during the season.
Yeah.
So I think they have a lot to prove still, but I see them at 6.
Okay. Got you then. All right, now we're at the top 5. At 5, I got Utah. Although they had the best record last year,
oh my God.
Best record doesn't mean best team. As we saw with the Bucks for 2 straight years, they had the best record, and they did pretty much what the Jazz did, and that was fizzle out pretty early in the postseason. So, can Donovan Mitchell, can he lead them? Can Rudy Gobert lead them?
Donovan Mitchell was like a once-in-a-lifetime player.
Oh, yeah. He's so great.
So it's like, I think he'll get to that point, but it won't be for a couple years.
Mm-hmm. And then at 4, I got the Lakers. They're all, what the Lakers are? They're like a fantasy team for a guy who doesn't know basketball. And he's just like, all right, I got my first pick, LeBron. Second pick, Anthony Davis. All right, I don't know anybody else. Oh, Russell Westbrook. I know that name. Oh, Carmelo. I used to play with him in NBA 2K11.
Dwight Howard.
Yeah, Dwight Howard.
Yeah, DeAndre Jordan. Yeah, I know those guys. Yeah, I definitely understand that.
So, the Lakers will be good just because they got LeBron and AD, but it's like, can all those old guys stay healthy for 82 games?
I think they will coast the season. They'll coast the season for a good amount of time, and then they will.
Well, that's what LeBron always does.
Yeah.
How many times has LeBron been the 1 seed?
Not many times.
No, he's always the 2 or the 3 seed because they coast, and then he goes playoff LeBron, and then just rolls through the playoffs.
I hope they're healthy. I want to see them healthy throughout the playoffs, but it's highly unlikely with the age. I know age really isn't a factor in the NBA because the Bucks were like the oldest team in the league last year, and they won. But this year it's a little bit different.
They got Ariza, who's 36, Carmelo, who's 37, Anthony Davis is 28. That's getting up there in NBA age.
that's young compared to the team.
You're right. You're right. It's young for the team. Dwight Howard, 35. LeBron, 36. DeAndre Jordan at 33. Wesley Matthews at 34. Like, holy cow. And they still got Rajon Rondo, 35.
I think this is like, they have 2 years to do this.
You're right.
Or it's never going to happen. Like, the Lakers have 2 years, and it's like, okay, Carmelo's going to be 40. LeBron's going to be close to 40. It's
Russ is going to be past 30, 35.
Yeah. And I don't know how that's going to fit, you know? Like, Russ is a ball-dominant player.
Yeah.
Either you let Russ be Russ, or you're really taming a beast, you know?
He has to be able to start up at the top of the key and drive.
And then, catch the rebound and go.
Yeah.
You know, he has to be able to do that for 75% of the game.
You're right.
Or you're just not using Russ.
Yeah.
Get rid of him.
So that's why like this team, I don't know, can they gel? Can they work together? Because LeBron is your point forward always, no matter what team, who he has around him. He's always going to be your point forward. So then what do you do with Rajon Rondo? What do you do with Russell Westbrook?
I think you just let them go play basketball. Honestly, you can't create a system for that.
Yeah.
There's no system for that.
It's just going to be like street ball kind of.
You just got to let them flow and create their own offense. And then like maybe midway through the season, you have enough footage of what works. And then you create offense. Because right away, I don't think you can create something that works. Yeah. You just got to let them work it out. And then create an offense like midway through the season, like right before All-Star break or something like that.
Yeah.
But you're at 4, I think?
Yeah, 4. So 3, I got Phoenix. Re-signing Chris Paul, huge. And they basically have the same team back. I mean, you got Ayton. You got Devin Booker.
Yep.
Did they retain Jay Crowder?
No. Yeah, they retained Jay Crowder.
Jay Crowder's a great veteran presence. That dude's been everywhere and probably just knows like every offense and defense. So he knows like every little
thing
trick
to do
against each team.
He's another Draymond type player.
Yeah.
So it's like,
all right, and then, Phoenix made it to the finals last year, being the same team. That's why I have them up high. At 2, I got Brooklyn. I won't lie, they do have the best big 3 out of every team.
But will Kyrie be there?
But will Kyrie be there? Will James Harden be healthy? KD, he's injury prone.
He's going to be KD.
KD's going to give you 60 games.
Yeah, they'll each give you 60. I think the only person who's healthy will give you 80 to 75 games. It's James Harden.
Yeah.
Neither one will, like, Kyrie Irving will only give you 60 games. KD will give you 60 games. And there's a possibility that Kyrie won't even play this year. So
Kyrie might need a mental health week or two, halfway through the season. You never know with Kyrie what he's going to bring up.
Ever.
So it's just like, what we saw them play all 3 together 6-8 games last year.
And most of those were in the playoffs. So it's like, you don't really know how they're going to play.
And 2 of the games, Kyrie got hurt right away. And then in another game, James Harden got hurt right away. And then in the next game was just out there as a decoy because he shot like 1 of 12 from the floor.
But what's wild is that he ended up getting like 22 and 25 the next game. Just all off free throws. And it's like,
just a decoy, and he's just rolled to the basket and get fouled. And then number 1, reigning champs, Milwaukee Bucks. This is why the Bucks are number 1, guys. 1, they're the reigning champs.
Got to beat them to.
Yeah, you have to beat them to
become number 1.
Number 1, exactly. And they got better. I believe they truly got better. They got George Hill, more depth.
Yeah.
Last year, like 2 years ago, their bench was deep. And they fizzled out against the Heat. Last year, I didn't think their bench was that deep.
They were only going 7 guys for
if
most
that.
of the time.
And the 6th guy was was Pat Connaughton, and 7 was like Thanasis to just give some spark in there.
Bobby.
Oh yeah, Bobby.
Well,
Bobby barely played in the championships. Not in the championship. The conference finals.
He played a lot in the conference finals. He didn't play against the Nets.
Oh, the Nets. Yeah, you're right.
He barely
you're right
played,
on that.
which I thought was a big mistake to me.
No, you're right on that because he just was giving energy and a good defensive presence. And Bobby Portis is going to give you 11, 12 points in a night.
Yeah, there's certain like things they did in that playoff series that they could have, sat out Brook and put in Bobby. And it's like, because Bobby's going to give you the same 3-point shooting, same rebounding, but he can switch a lot better. So it's like.
Yeah. And, I mean, they added Rodney Hood, who I like. I know you don't like Rodney Hood.
I like Rodney Hood. I'm a Duke fan. I like Rodney Hood.
Okay, you like Rodney Hood.
I just think he's so inconsistent.
Okay, I feel that, though. But he's a good stretch guy. He's 6'8". I mean, that's length. That's what the Bucks have been going for the last 5 years is length.
Yep, and he's flexible. He can play 2, 3.
Yeah.
You can still put him on some 4s.
You can put him on a small 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, I mean, they got Semi Ojeleye, too, who
great
I don't know if anybody remembers, but when the Bucks played the Celtics, when the Celtics were the 2 seed and the Bucks were the 7 seed, Semi Ojeleye locked up Giannis. Absolutely locked him up.
I don't know if locked up?
No, he did. Go back and look at that. He locked up Giannis.
Okay.
And just in...
He's a great defender, so I can believe it.
Like, that was one guy that, I was just like, why can't Giannis do anything? And it's because Semi Ojeleye was on him.
I think he's the replacement for PJ.
You're right.
I say that, like, PJ Tucker was... It's going to be a wild take, but PJ Tucker was, like, that guy who's so aggressive, but he really doesn't stop anything.
Yeah.
Like, he just makes it look harder, but everyone was putting 40 on him.
Yeah.
So it's like, did he really play good defense?
Yeah, and then he shoots 1 of 7 from the floor.
5 fouls, 0 points.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
A steal, 2 boards.
Yeah, but he's going to be the biggest loss of the Bucks. People were saying that all summer, like, oh, we didn't re-sign PJ. He's the biggest loss. Like, no, he barely.
He played for half a season with us.
Mm-hmm. He's a big factor because of his energy, but we can find that energy somewhere else.
Like you said, that's a good comparison. Semi Ojeleye is a good one. All right, so your top 5 then.
Top 5. I got the Nuggets.
Okay.
At 5 because I think Jokic and Murray will be back, and MJP Michael Porter Jr. MPJ.
Yeah.
That's the MJP. I think he will be at full form. Like, I think his rookie/sophomore year, he was a little timid because of his back. Then last year, he came out letting it fly and, like, scoring a little bit easier. Because he's like a KD type guy. Like, he's 6'11" and can shoot it with ease.
People forget that before his back injury, when he was at Missouri, like, he was considered the number 1 pick. Mm-hmm. And then he had that back injury and sat out. And then he slipped to, late teens, early 20s, and Denver picked him.
Yep, and what's great, he is the perfect fit in the offense with them. Like, then they got Aaron Gordon. It's just a perfect offense to me, at least. All right, and then I got Heat at number 4.
Okay.
I don't think people understand how important Kyle Lowry is going to be to that squad. He gives energy. He's a great passer. Duncan Robinson might be the second best shooter in the league right now. Maybe.
You think he's better than Joe Harris?
Yeah, he's 10 times better than Joe Harris. And he's 6'10".
Yeah.
He's 6'10".
He's like 6'8". Yeah.
He can shoot over anybody.
Yeah.
So it's like, and he's developed this, like, off the dribble. Like, I was watching the preseason. He developed this off the dribble move where he can, like, pump you, take a dribble, step back, and shoot it again. So he's like getting more comfortable on the floor.
Yeah. He's not just sitting in the corner anymore.
Yeah. I'm like, I get why they gave him like 150.
Yeah.
Like, I was watching the game, I was like, he looked like the best player on the floor.
Yeah.
But they're number 4 just because they're going to bring that energy and that heat, like, heat environment, the Pat Riley's type of style that he loves to see with his teams. Yeah, and then number 3, I got the Lakers. Just based off name, honestly, we got to see how it's going to go. Yeah. Like, this could float all the way down to 8,
Yeah.
We just got to see how it's going to go. 2 Nets because you really can't beat that big 3 if they're together. I think Kyrie's going to be gone within 2 months. But still with James Harden and KD, they might still be the best team in the league.
Yeah.
Just because James Harden can take the load or KD can take the load. It's really they can give you 40 either night.
Yeah.
Whoever feels like it, they can give you 40.
Switching off. And then they got Blake Griffin, too. Yeah. Who else they got off the bench?
They got Aldridge. Who else? There's a couple other players they got, but I think it's going to be a big season for KD. I think KD might be one of the MVP favorites, but he wants it.
Yeah, this could be like KD's like late MVP run in his career. Like he won't do it again, kind of thing. But yeah, they got Patty Mills, Paul Millsap's pretty solid too. Joe Harris.
They're another like team just like the Lakers. You know that fantasy basketball team, the people you really know from the 2010s.
Yeah.
Number one, the Bucks, because you got to beat them to take them off the top. I think the Bucks will be better than they were last year. I think Grayson Allen will be our number one pickup.
Really?
Grayson Allen is a player that can get you 30 any night. He's another player like Kyle Lowry to me, who's like knows the game so well that he can fit in anywhere. He'll get you. He's like Pat Connaughton to me.
Okay.
He's another Pat Connaughton. So.
And you don't think his off the court stuff, or I should say on the court stuff, because he's known for
I think we
tripping players and being kind of a guy that gets in players' heads. You don't think that will impact
he's an irritant.
Okay.
Like, we need that irritant. Another like.
You need that Draymond kind of player that gets into their head.
Off.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's going to be the number one guy to help the Bucks this year.
Okay.
Him, Dante, Drew. It's going to be tough. Like when you see those three guarding you all game, that's going to be tough. Dante DiVincenzo was the second best defensive efficiency guard.
Yep.
Under Drew.
Yeah.
So it's like those two are just so good. So, and that's it.
All right. We got MVP.
We're going to take a break and we'll come back with our MVP picks.
Welcome back to the Broke Jumper Podcast. He is the Holiness Tyree Pope. I'm Dylan Kloobs, and we just got done doing our power rankings, top 15 in the NBA, and then we're going to finish this off with our top, 3 MVP guys?
I put 4, but
4? Okay, we can go 4. I got a 4th guy then.
All right,
so top 4. I started off with the power rankings, so you can start off with the MVP guys then.
I got you. My top 3, and then I'll say my pick. That'll be the 4th one. Okay, I got Luka, because Luka's going to start off hot again, so he will, have those 50-point games, those 40-point games, because his usage rate is just so high. So it's just a given. I got Giannis. He's going to have another 29-12 year.
Yeah.
He's never not going to have that until his prime goes down. I got Jason Tatum. I think he's going to have a breakout year, like I said earlier. All right. I'm going to redo that one. I'm just kidding. I got Jason Tatum. I just think he's going to have a breakout year. I think he has the best offense of game outside of KD in the league. So I really think he's going to be in his bag. He has an actual true point guard this year with Dennis Schroeder. He doesn't need to have the ball to score. He can get everybody else involved. I think he didn't have that with Kemba. Kemba needed to be the one who was scoring all the time, small, couldn't really defend. So I think he'll have a way better year. And my pick for 2022 MVP is Trae Young. I think Trae Young will have a breakout year, even more than he did last year. I think he'll come out in the regular season pretty much headhunting, like having a spectacular year, and he'll be a crowd favorite. So
all right.
I think he'll.
That's a solid top 4 right there.
Yeah, I think Trae Young's gonna do it. I think he could have like a 28-12 year.
Yeah. Dang. Like 12 assists? Yeah, That would be killer. All right. At number 4, I got LeBron. I mean, with the addition of everybody and what LeBron did LeBron averaged what? 10, 11 assists last year?
Yeah, the year before last year.
Before last year. So I think he can do that again with the addition of Russell Westbrook, with Carmelo, with all these guys around him. He won't average as many points, I think
he will. I think he'll average more points than you think. I think he's chasing that, number 1 spot in scoring and points, career points.
I was thinking he was going to go like 25, 26 this year for points a game.
And I think he'll leave the assist to Russ.
Really? You think so?
I think he'll probably even try to get the.
So you think he'll have like a 28, like 8-8 kind of year?
Yeah, 7-7.
7-7. Okay.
Yeah, I think he'll have that type of year. I mean, if he has the energy for it.
Yeah.
He might even burn out.
You're right. I mean,
and just start coasting because he doesn't want to burn out before before All-Star game. You don't want to start off like, and you don't have the legs for
Yeah.
it, you know.
And LeBron's won an MVP with those numbers, with 28, 7, and 7. He's done that before. So
I think those numbers winning the MVP are long gone.
you're right. You're probably right on that. Now, I mean, you saw Jokic and Giannis. I mean, I'm just thinking back. The last few MVPs have all had a double-double
At least.
some way or another. Giannis with boards, Jokic with board. Jokic almost had triple-double.
He almost had a triple-double.
Russ had a triple-double. James Harden
Almost had a triple-double.
almost had a triple-double before him. You go back to
Before him, it was,
2016, Steph,
Steph was the only one who didn't
Steph.
have a triple-double.
or a
almost.
double-double.
He had 30 points, though. So
You're
it's
right.
like,
Yeah.
gotta get to
Unanimous
that.
MVP there. So,
yeah, you got to get to that range to not have to have like a double-double.
Yeah.
If you're averaging 30 and like 8 and 8,
yeah.
then you're good. But if you're averaging just 26, 8 and 8,
Yeah.
there's someone averaging 28 and 12. So
Yeah.
it's like,
All right. At number 3, I got KD. I feel like this is KD's kind of statement year.
I have
mean,
him at number 5.
Have him at 5, yeah.
around there.
I mean, because last year was his first year playing with the Nets after sitting out for a full year. Didn't know what to come of it. He didn't know the chemistry with the team. So I think this year he'll have a ton of chemistry. His leg will be healthy, way healthier.
He'll
So,
feel way better.
Yeah,
But who knows? He might even feel some fatigue, mostly because, you know, he just played in the Olympics. He
You're
played
right.
pretty deep into the playoffs. Who knows if he might sit out a couple games just because, you know, he needs to get his legs back underneath him. And he might be a player who only plays like 60 games,
You're
65.
right.
So
you're right. And at number 2, this is my dark horse guy, De'Aaron Fox.
De'Aaron Fox is pushing up to that top 5 point guard
Right.
range just because every year he gets better. I think this year he'll probably average a
Dude, that dude
double-double.
he's so quick. He'll average a double-double. I think this year he'll only average like probably 19 and 8, something like that.
I think he'll average 25.
You think you can get
Yeah.
up there this year?
Tyrese Halliburton.
You're right. Tyrese is so good.
Another
Oshkosh
Wisconsin
guy.
Yeah. I think Tyrese is going to be that guy who can run the offense and let him be him. You know, De'Aaron Fox is,
Yeah.
all right, you can chill on trying to make sure everybody's getting involved.
Yeah.
I can do that, and then you can be you.
Yeah.
And
I mean, they got around him. They got Buddy Hield around him as well. That's a great shooter. So they got good guys surrounding him.
Yep.
I think he can just come out of nowhere.
And they got a couple vets as well, you know.
Yeah, let me look this up real quick. Let's see. They got
A couple of vets as well. They can all be of service. So it's like, I don't think they...
Marvin Bagley, Harrison Barnes, Tyrese Halliburton, Buddy Hield.
I think they should sign...
They got Tristan Thompson. That's funny.
Yeah, he got traded. He went to the Hawks, which I thought was a great fit. I was like, damn, all they need is a guy who just gets tons of rebounds,
Yeah.
and that's him pretty much. But
It's Clint's good. Clint's a good defensive guy, but he doesn't get many boards.
yeah, he's like, to me, I think Clint Capella is like the biggest, you know, liability on that squad.
Yeah.
So
I can see that.
it just depends on your opinion, but he can't really switch out. He can't really play defense outside of blocks. So it's like, he can't shoot. He's only good for lobs. And if you get a center that can actually, you know, shoot, catch lobs, and actually do everything you need him to do,
Yeah.
he's a little bit better. So let's go. I'm looking at the Atlanta Hawks right now. So I know I can't remember his name. Ojale used to be on the Hawks, but there's another dude on that squad that I'm thinking of. Wait a second. They have Dang now? That's wild. I got a deep
Gorgie.
squad.
Gorgie, I was on an interview with him like a year ago.
He's a vet. Who I was thinking of is Anguwu.
Oh, Okongwu?
Yeah, Okongwu. Yeah, that's who I was thinking of. Like, he is a great stretch, like 5.
Okay.
You know, he can shoot it. Good free throw shooter and catch lobs, play defense.
Yeah.
Just as good as Capella. There's a reason Capella had to get out of Houston, to me.
No, you're right on that.
I think Sharif Cooper will be a big help to Trae Young because, there's those times where Trae Young just, takes himself out of the game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Sharif will come in and kind of, pick everybody back up, get everybody back involved.
You think Jalen Johnson can step up and be a point forward?
I think Jalen Johnson will be the biggest contributor to their bench.
Okay.
He's the guy before he got hurt at Duke was, considered being one of the player of the year options. So
no, you're right on that. He was a top 5 pick that you're thinking of.
Yeah, he was averaging. He had like a 19 and 10 game or something like that. He had like 19 points, 19 boards, 10 assists.
Yeah.
And it was like, that guy can literally, he's a player who can do everything.
Yeah.
So,
the thing is, they say about him, he's predictable on the offensive end.
mm-hmm. That's why you just get him within the offense and he can just get easy.
Just roll around, rather
than
like
having the ball in his hand and stuff like that.
Yeah, all right. And then my number one, my person I think is going to win the MVP, Luka.
Mm-hmm.
Luka, they've been saying it for the last 2 or 3 years now. I think this is the year that he actually pushes through and does it.
The narrative is pushing that way.
Yeah,
so
that too. And that's
if the media is running for you,
about
you
NBA.
can get it.
It's the media. Like Giannis had literally just as good as numbers as his previous 2 seasons, but he wasn't even top 3 for MVP votes.
It's because the media was done with him after they lost last year. Like the media, if he wouldn't have had the performance that he did this year, the media would have been done with him.
Yeah.
Like, they would have wrote the Bucks off completely.
Oh, you're right. Small market, easy to write off, and they were just done with. They probably were pissed off that they had to give him the MVP in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that because he was like well before he won the MVP, like 2 years before, like in 2017 when he first popped up on the scene. He was the golden boy. Like he was the next coming. So I think they always planned on him winning an MVP down the line just because they think he's the international star. But now now they have Luka.
Yep.
He's more marketable. He's more in your face. Giannis isn't really in your face. He's not going to be out there.
Giannis doesn't like the media. That's what he loves about Milwaukee is there's no media following you around when he's at Mayfair.
Yeah,
you'll get people just snap a quick photo and put it on their Snapchat. That's it. They ain't coming up to Giannis.
He can walk around by himself.
Yeah.
He doesn't have to worry about having security with him when he's going out to a restaurant or something.
I mean, the dude went to Chick-fil-A by himself and bought 50 nuggets. Like
that is a wild thing. Like buying 50 nuggets. Like I get tired of 10 nuggets. Like after 10, I feel like I'm eating mush. I'm like, I can't even eat this no more. Like I had to put it back in the fridge and then go back and get it.
He had to make a statement.
Mm-hmm. Put up 50, I wish I would have made a bet.
I was there at that at the 50 game against Utah. Mm-hmm. I was at that game where he put up 50.
You're talking about it was not this year, but it was last year. Right?
Yeah.
I was at that same game. I sat
December.
Right behind the court. I was right at that same. I think Riley might have been at that game too.
Yeah,
there's a bunch of people at that game. I just remember him going for 50, and I was like, "Yep, he's the truth." He just destroyed Rudy Gobert the entire game. I feel like Rudy Gobert is the most overrated defender.
You're right
in the league
completely. He only I think one of those defensive player of the years was legit. Mm. The second one was media frenzy.
Yeah, he shouldn't have won last year.
Yeah,
there is zero reason he should have won last year. He had the stats, but getting 2 blocks a game isn't what you think it is.
They never give it to a point guard or a guard anymore. Drew Holiday should have been a defensive player of the year candidate. He had the highest efficiency rating as a point guard or as a guard.
Yeah, and he showed it in the playoffs.
Yeah,
he was like, if I get on you, you're having a bad game. It's not going to be a good game if I'm on you. If PJ's on you, you're having the time of your life.
Solid game, yeah. They're saying you're having a bad game until you check the stats in the fourth quarter, and dude who PJ's guarding has 27.
Oh, every single time, I was like, dang, get him off of them. Every time he goes on CP3, 32. He goes on Devin Booker, 40-40. It's dude, just play off guard now.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I like PJ Tucker because of his energy, but I never thought he was the greatest defender. So it's like,
Yeah.
when people give him that, that's like giving Patrick
Beverly.
Patrick Beverly like he's a great defender. No, he's aggressive. There is a difference. Aggressive defenders are not good defenders.
Well, Pat Bev is first team all defense.
He's not a good defender though. Like, he's that defender who's going to be all in your grill, but you're still going to give him 40.
Okay.
Like, it's like, okay, you're making it irritating.
He makes those 2 or 3 big plays in a game that energize the crowd kind of thing.
Yeah, and he's like that personality, But, like, you're making it irritating.
Yeah.
But it's not harder for me to do anything.
Yeah.
If anything, you're making me want to do it more. So.
All right. Yeah, that's podcast number 1, Broke Jumper Podcast.
Yeah.
He's Tyree Pope. I'm Dylan Kloobs. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Peace.